And so you mentioned before your first 100 days is an important time frame. What do you have planned, and what do you hope to accomplish in that time frame?
Well, first and foremost, I think a lot of that time is currently ongoing now. We are looking to establish a transition team and evaluate and assess the current talent on the roster and see where we need to seek out others through the transfer portal. You know, we're going to get some big wins done in terms of infrastructure, looking at expanding and extending current projects, and doing right by communities like the labor community, ensuring we have appropriate representation across the board in city offices and appointments. Really get started with our new vision for Terre Haute, Indiana.
Great. And as you mentioned, you're talking about the transition team to help make the process a little smoother.
Yeah.
Would you go into a little more detail about who that would be and how it would work, and then what the first steps would be?
Mm-hmm. So we're looking at currently right now a two-committee structure, one being 8 community leaders, some former elected officials, nonprofit advocates, folks from all backgrounds, financial background as well, plus a 4-person advisory committee comprised of former statewide officials, former mayors as well, to help kind of balance that relationship with the State House. So one down and in focus, one up and out focus, an 8-person group and a 4-person group, and really then assessing our department heads, our hiring process, and looking to see how open we can be throughout all of this with all the mayoral appointments and boards and commissions as well.
Great. And so what work do you hope to do in the next 2 months before taking office?
Just create a seamless transition with Mayor Bennett, who's been nothing short of a professional and already reached out and having conversations ongoing. And where are we at financially? That it looks like there could potentially be some decisions made and with contracts that would affect the next administration. So just an open and honest conversation. And his staff, his administration, and him personally have been nothing short of that. We will maintain that relationship during this time.
Great. And kind of similar to one of the other questions I asked earlier, how will you approach positions in administration, especially talking about public safety?
So, you know, we'll go public safety, and I think it blends into all of it, but we're a qualifications-based administration. You know, what's your plan for growth? Do you see changes, or do you not see changes, and why? Being able to illustrate that, communicate that, and focus on the direction of the city. Right now, I just saw this, we're the 15th largest city in the state of Indiana. You know, our goal is to be top 10, and we are going to be very aggressive with that. So within our city administration, within these departments, public safety, are you prepared for that growth? Do we have a plan for that growth? You know, what's the east side look like with the casino? How are we making sure some of our north side neighborhoods, our downtown neighborhoods are safe and secure? And what's the conversation look like with the fire department? Growth there and changes there. So all of those conversations will happen. We will have conversations with both those unions as well with our local laborers 204 that represents a lot of our other city employees.
Great. And kind of going off that, what would you say is your top issue-driven priority for the city?
Yeah, so, you know, I really want to see traffic cones. And what I mean by that is physical construction, addressing stormwater drains, sidewalks, curbs, streets, and starting there and showing the progress that we are making, continuing downtown development and addressing some of the neighborhoods where some of the lights have shut off over the years, like North Terre, Haute. So a lot of community planning to do as well, setting up the foundation for a strong riverfront development and east side development as well. And a lot of this happens simultaneously. So when the question is just one, I know it stems over to 4 or 5 priority areas, but these all blend together.
Great. And so we saw on your Twitter that you had a conversation with Kamala Harris. Can you go into a little more detail about that? What was it like?
So, you know, I did get a call from a senior advisor to the vice president, and, you know, then she reached out shortly after that, and we had a conversation. You know, her heritage, my mother's heritage, they are both Jamaican, and I'm Jamaican as well. And we also talked about communities like Terre Haute and the potential of Midwest America right now, and how we can have conversations about federal resources and what that looks like to nest with the president and vice president's vision as well as our vision. And these are the relationships that we need to have. We need to have someone who's available to reach out to state legislators and vice presidents. So it was a very refreshing conversation, a lot of thank yous and congratulations, and a good conversation about the potential of the Midwest.
I was going to say, how did it feel to kind of get that recognition from that level?
It was surreal. It definitely was. And I've had a number of prominent Republicans here in the state of Indiana who have also reached out that also gave me that same feeling. So, it's great to see elected officials across both sides of the aisle taking notice, saying, hey, Terre Haute's comeback begins today.
Awesome. Great. That was about all the main questions we had written down. Was there anything else?
Yeah, I came up with a couple of things as we were talking. What are you most looking forward to in taking office?
I'm really looking forward to, I used this earlier with the Tribune Star, but I'm really looking forward to building bridges, right? Physical bridges and overpasses, what you can see connecting hotels to convention centers, finally overpasses across railroad tracks, and also building bridges in the community with the school corporation, our universities, our private sector employers, and county government. It's a good kind of metaphor to highlight both physically what you can see and some of the relationships as well. So looking forward to that.
I have one more. How do you plan to communicate with the community, not only as you transition, but also once you take office? What kind of avenues are you looking at?
Yeah, so I am looking to establish kind of a Mayor's Monday conversation and using media outlets, potentially radio, the Tribune Star, and our local news sources. But I would like to see frequent updates of, hey, here's what's going on in the community this week, not just event-wise, but street department-wise. Hey, could you move your cars because this week we're going to clean curbs A, B, and C. So just finding platforms to stay engaged with the community. I know a lot of it's on social media now, but I think sometimes that becomes an easy button because not everyone has access to that. So frequent communication utilizing our media outlets here in Vigo County.
That's what I had. Do you have anything that we didn't talk about?
No, I mean, I really want to say whether you're a young elementary school student in the middle of your career or a retiree in any of those three different groups, find your dream, your chapter in the storied book of American history and chase it. Don't ever let anyone tell you it can't be a reality. And right now someone out there is working harder than you. So don't let that happen and keep fighting from that mentality, and you too can live your dream one day.